Alright everyone, welcome back.
それはまあ仕方ないじゃないか。
こう見えても私、年末年始には巫女さんやってたりするのよ。
Huh? Tosaka, a shrine maiden? That's the first time I've heard of it.
この竜道寺でか？
それはなかなか冗談がきついわね。竜道くんが私の巫女姿を見たら、不浄なる女怪が神域を犯しているとか大騒ぎになるわよ。もちろん市内の別の神社でね。
That's a relief. But why a shrine maiden?
遠坂の一族に関係があって、決まって一族から誰かを巫女さんとして送らなきゃいけない。そんなしきたりでもあるのか？
カモの西宮みたいね、そう言われると。いやー、単なる年末年始の割のいいアルバイトよ。経験者優遇だから。
I was expecting some grand backstory, so I was a bit crestfallen. It's true though. Issei did tell me that almost all of the shrine maidens you see around New Year's are part-timers.
そういうわけで、私に自社仏閣は不得意でも何でもないってこと。
へえ、バイトか。いろいろ遠坂も大変なんだな。
I just blurted it out without thinking. I didn't really mean anything by it, but I think I just saw Tosaka's eyebrow twitch.
まだフルタイムのバイトを入れなくてもなんとかなるからね。シローもしてみる？年始の神社のバイト。
俺が？
That light blue Shinto priest Hakama getup, huh? That's not that far from the archery club uniform, so it wouldn't feel that weird to wear. In fact, if anything...
どっちかというと、ジャンパー羽織って人参振って参詣客の警備誘導をやってる方が似合う気がする。
確かにそっちの方がいいかもしれないわね。それはともかく、この山は私にとっても無視できない管理地だから、時々見回りには来ているのよ。
Finally, she tells me the reason for her visit. As she says, this is an important site in the ley line, so Tosaka wouldn't be able to neglect it just because there's a temple built on top.
なるほど。ついでにお参りはどうだ？
本堂に用はないわ。ちょっと裏の池と地下空洞までね。シローはどうするの？
She's inviting me to go with her, but if I do go, I think I'd be a hindrance. I shake my head and Tosaka doesn't seem to mind.
そう。じゃあばったり山中で竜道くんと出会わないように表で牽制しておいてね。
まあ一星とばったり会ったらそうなるけど。
Tosaka passes under the mountain gate with a bitter smile. Before crossing the ground, she looks back at me.
私の巫女姿見てみたい？
正直に言って興味がある。
It is relevant to his interest.
なら楽しみにしておきなさい。
Giving a smile that fills me with anticipation, Tosaka leaves. Tosaka's shrine maiden clothes. I'm definitely interested. Oh, wait, that's how it ends? Ah, I thought we were gonna continue. Boo. Go for a walk. Okay. To the Black Holy Grail. The curtains fall. The buzzer signaling the end of the performance sounds, and the whole residence is sinking into a deep darkness. Into a sleep so deep, none would revive and awaken before the 5th day. There won't be any more encounters.
その割にはあっさりしてるな。ま、考えてみればたった4日だし、愛着も湧かないか。
You should see 51st dates. There isn't anyone to bid farewell to, nor is there any luggage to bring home. See ya. I wave my hand and retreat backstage. The date will change soon. On the night of the 4th day, the black moon comes to kill me as I stay behind. That's the foundation I'm gonna destroy. The end of the wish, the completion of the puzzle. I move straight in to fill the last crevice from which the void is born. I continue on, stifling the screams. This is the tower that I will reach the hollow sky from. Since I already know what my true identity is, the path to return to where I belong should appear here. Oh, we're gonna redo again. On day 4, as the end of the performance begins, I finally arrive at the dance floor leading to the hollow sky. The moon darkens, the town overflows with corpses. This body welcomes the appointed time and I start dissolving into a monster, neither myself nor myself. And there,
驚いた。
there's a shadow on the rooftop. A shadow with flowing silver hair, just like the other day.
ここまで来るなんてサービス過剰なんじゃないか？
The one admonishing and guiding me is waiting.
過剰ではありません。4日目の夜にあなたと出会うのは私の習慣のようなものですから。
A curt response without any hint of embarrassment. Just like always.
そういやそうだったけど。じゃあ今夜は何の用件で来たんだよ？
あなたのエスコートをしに参りました。どこまで行けるかわかりませんが、可能な限りご一緒しようかと。
This is very similar to when, in the Fate route, when Shiro and Saber were getting ready to square off against Gilgamesh, and they were both walking together, but they couldn't really, I guess you can say, do much more. Like, you can tell the two wanted to, you know, like, at the very least, stay close to each other, but they knew they would have to separate eventually. It's kind of similar to this one. You got a problem with that? That's the line between the lines. My mouth stretches into a grin. Damn it. If that's the case, then I can't help but get motivated myself.
やっぱりサービスしすぎだよあんた。そこまでする義理はないと思うんだけど。
迷惑ですか？
逆。ありがたくって泣けてきた。見栄を張る相手がいなくてやばくってさ。誰でもいいから隣にいてくれると助かる。いや、地獄に仏ってのはいるんだな。
Facing the hollow sky, I step forward. The path towards the Holy Grail appears as if greeting its owner.
なあ、高いところは苦手か？
怖くはありません。私は一度あの月から落ちてきましたから。
よし。なら、ちょっとそこまで付き合ってよ。俺一人じゃ足を踏み外しそうだ。
I turn around and extend my hand. Since I've gotten so excited about this, I'm able to keep holding myself together.
言われるまでもなく、私はあなたを導くためにこうして出会ったのですから。
Our hands are joined, our fingers entwined. The moment I take a step off the ground, I'll revert to my old self. The show comes to a close. This is the last time I will be the main character. Miyama Town is overflowing with red lights. There's no time to stop and think. Behind the doors of a closed theater, the last roll of film is put on. Every step I take causes reality to fade away. Every step up causes time to accumulate and stagnate. It was just a minute ago that I started the ascent. Yet it seems to have started so long ago that I can't no longer recall when it began. I'm fading away. At times, my creaking limbs feel as if they're going to give in to my raging urges and fall apart. But I'm not the only one taking damage. The woman holding my hand grimaces in pain every time. She's a fine partner to show off to.
ああ、どこまで続くんだこれ。
I continued climbing up the stairs while cursing, displaying humanity all the way. Come to think of it, Emiyashiro had a memory similar to this as well. Two people walking up the long stairs together. I wonder when that happened. It's only been an hour, but I've completely forgotten about it.
見て、赤い光が止まっているわ。
I looked down at her, urging. The monster horde that descended upon the town has stopped, unable to enter Shinto. Miyama is awash in red. My remains rampaging in the sleeping town. I gazed at the repulsive sight for a while. I climbed the stairs. The ground is far away, the sky is clear. A dream given form, someone's wish. With every step, all the things that were sought after but never given become more distant. It feels like the story of a faraway land, now completely unrelated to me. How many times did I walk along these streets? How many times did I reflect upon the ordinary? There's no place which I don't know. There's nothing I didn't experience. With every turn, the not yet known blank piece of paper at the start had been slowly filling up. And the more it is filled, the dimmer its light became. The more I fall in love with the everyday routine, the more I look forward to every new day, the more I lose this glimmer. I knew from the start that it was an inevitable consequence. I had more than plenty of fun. I did not need anything new to happen. No matter if they are always the same 4 days, I can keep up the contract to continue repeating them forever. And yet, I kept on doing completely unnecessary things. Why? It couldn't have been just the influence of the personality I've assumed. I'm probably tired of this, that's all. I just felt like ending it because I'm simply tired of it all. It has to be that, or else I might just feel like throwing everything away. My silhouette distorts. I almost miss a step.
大丈夫。あなたは我慢できる人でしょ。
Her tightly grasping fingers denied vehemently.
そうだな。終わることと続かないことは違う。ここにいたらいつまでも続きがない。
Soon enough, the nothingness will be just within an arm's reach. Soon enough, my now tightly clenched fingers will be grasping nothing but thin air. The earth is now veiled in clouds, and I walk towards the stars.
ねえ、何のためにこの願いを終わらせるの？
Muffled by the wind, I suddenly hear her voice. What for? I don't remember anymore. But I do remember what I wanted above all. To see the end of this road. To release the woman who has been fiercely protecting the Holy Grail in this black cocoon.
彼女はあなたを殺そうとしているのに。どうしてあなたは彼女にこだわるのです？
Why? No reason. I forced myself on a woman out of anger and lust. Yet she is one I care for out of longing and affection.
意外ね。あなたは人間嫌いだと思っていたわ。
Of course I do. I detest them in much the same way that many people feel anxious in the company of their own brethren. This wicked malice was born from the righteousness that rejects weakness. For as long as I am worshipped as an antagonist, I will continue to fulfill this function. And it will remain that way for all of eternity. Evil is not born, it is created. Certainly, weak people do exist, but the weak are abundant in any ecosystem, any species. The wickedness of the single soul has hardly any impact on nature as a whole. The very system that man is brought up in, both his greatest strength and weakness, is in itself evil. Human emotion that leads astray and gives him fire. With no special being to guide them, many apathetic souls will veer off the right path. Lives which celebrate nothing but existence. They affirm their prosperity by bringing out a god and cleansing their own malice. All the evil in the world, What a joke. That is nothing but another term for a human. I am born from humanity. As long as you are human, you will be able to reproduce any kind of evil. Repugnant individuals, repugnant society, repugnant ideas. There is no excuse. Living beings should not be able to regard their brethren as evil in the first place. But...
それでも命には価値がある。悪をなす生き物でも人間に価値がなくても今まで積み上げてきた歴史には意味がある。いつまでも間違えたままでもその手で何かができる以上必ず救えるものがあるだろう。
Like a journey to the stars, aiming for the distant sky and climbing up a long, long stairway.
前から思っていたけど、
A faint sigh of relief. Her lips part.
あなたロックスターみたい。
She sings those words like a song. I don't understand the metaphor, but being compared to a star can't possibly be bad. They certainly do exist, but my hands will never reach them. They were one of the few shining things that I was able to see. The sky is near. The world of humanity will soon be over. The world of humanity will soon be over. Only those that belong there in the first place will be able to proceed further. There's no need for words. Just as it happened to me the moment I left the ground, her body too is slowly disappearing, as if announcing the coming of the finale. I search within myself to see if there's anything else left unsaid. I can't come up with any witty remarks, but I do recall something I forgot to tell her.
俺あんたの父親のことを知ってるかもしれない。
そう、別にいいです。分かりきったことだもの。
A sure and quick reply. If she says so, then that's that. Our conversation finally ends. Nothing but the sound of the wind remains. I do not stop, nor do I avert my gaze from the sky. I can barely feel the hand that I've been clasping all this time. The moment we grip each other's hands to strengthen this vague feeling of touch is the moment we will realize we are both illusions, I'm sure. I was aware of being an illusion from the start. A being that did not exist in the city. Though these 4 days were merely a fiction for the others, they will remain. Only our rendezvous will vanish into the thin air. No matter how real this girl is. Because in the correct reality, we never met even once.
少し未練だ。
I worked hard not to, yet I still ended up becoming attached to one thing. Come to think of it, the moments I spent being myself were only with this girl. Having those moments disappear is a little painful.
まあそれも終わることだ。よしそれじゃあこの辺で。
I can only feel the pinky finger now, and it is already semi-transparent. The girl stops and I go on ahead. Our connection breaks off easily, as if it never existed in the first place.
じゃあな。俺がいなくなったらまた会ってやってくれ。
Not for my sake. For the sake of this memory that did not exist. That had no meaning whatsoever.
戻った後の行動は保証できません。任務が終わり次第、早々に帰国したいとは言い切れませんから。
As if. This person, one who loves making fun of idiots with emotional scars, has no reason to go back quietly with such a treat in front of her.
あんたにとってこの4日間はどうだった？
私ですか。そうですね。この町は嫌いではありません。
Then there's no problem. If she could think this way here, then the real her on the outside should think the same as well. At her words, well, my shameful attachment lessens just a little.
そうだな。あの神気臭い教会でもバカみたいに騒々しい家でも構わない。また会おうぜ、カレン。そん時はご要望通り少しは紳士的になってるからさ。
Because this foul-mouthed demon won't be possessing me again. The presence behind me disappears.
さようなら、アンリマユ。あなたを払うのは特別に見逃して差し上げます。
Appreciate that. What little warmth remains is soon swept away by the wind. I don't have to turn back to know that the white flower is gone. It was a big lie to say that my attachment lessened. This weight will never become any lighter. I can see the last stop. The thread of salvation that flowed to earth is gradually breaking. On the land far below, I wonder if the dead, kept in check by the guardians, are watching my ascent to the sky. Just like that time long ago when I looked up the stars from the top of the mountain, looking at the fading brilliance with envy and resentment in my heart. Last interlude. A spider thread hangs down to the lowest level of hell. Urged on by the evil omen hanging from the sky, corpses crawl out and overflow from a hole in the underworld. Tonight is the appointed time. The end of the fourth night, one that returns this battle to its beginning. Hurry, hurry, hurry. They are like ants swarming around honey. The corpses are reborn from the pit to bring down their own self, the ones seeking to break free from the endless cycle of death and rebirth. Don't let him escape. Don't let him escape. Don't let him escape. There is no night beyond this one. The corpses multiply infinitely and cover the streets without end. Destroy, destroy, destroy. Annihilate. This is pandemonium itself. A hell bearing the will to kill a human, to kill itself, manifested to fill the night.
すごい。よくやるな。怖くないのかしらね、あれ。
Far above in the skies, she raises her eyes to the stars of over 2,000 meters in height and mutters indifferently.
何もかもデタラメだけど、少女趣味もあそこまで徹底するなら、文句を言う方が野暮なんでしょうね。
She shrugs her shoulders in resignation. It's primitive and theatrical spectacle, but this stairway is definitely impressive. A bridge of light bisects the sky. A protagonist and a princess walk the translucent stairs hand in hand. She looks up at this scene, one that can no longer even be found in fairy tales nowadays. Despite how hopeless the situation is on the ground, she can't help but break into a smile.
にしても、数ちょっと多すぎない？
Holding the fort from atop the bridge support arch, she returns her gaze to the surface. Miyama is sinking into darkness. Welcoming the end of the fourth day, the town undergoes a rapid transformation. Lights fade, people vanish, and the liveliness of the town freezes in place. At this place, this moment, the only ones who exist are those who participate in the Holy Grail War. The day and night which had never mingled until now interchange, and those who could never cross paths do. The adjoining plane of reality and fantasy, truth and untruth. This mere hour is precisely the borderline that separates the fourth day from the fifth.
それは分かってたけど、ここまでのことは想定していなかった。
They had completely covered the whole of Miyama in under an hour. For humans, infinity is a metaphor. No matter how many hours, no matter how much you exceed the bounds of human deduction, all things have a limit. Infinity is nothing more than a word brought forth by the limits of our cognition. But the things before our eyes differ from that kind of incalculable concept. They are truly infinite, a limitless propagating chain, a final legion that can become a conclusion at its beginning, a circuit of death with no breaker to annihilate itself, stoppable by none. A twister ecosystem at its end wholly covers the ground.
500、600。死認できるだけでもう1000は超えている。
All the mystic codes that she has mustered together, and the feeling of jewels grasped tightly in both her hands, no longer feel the slightest bit dependable. These could not delay them for even just a few minutes. Surely they will collapse the bridge in the blink of an eye, shroud the tower rising over Shinto, and voraciously bring down the spider's thread. With the end before her eyes, she grits her teeth. If the earth is hell and the sky is the land of fairy tales, then the support arch each she stands on is their boundary. Placing herself at the crossroads, she gazes at the distant sea. I was gonna say sky. Above there is a vapor trail cutting straight across the skies. Below, there's an endless swarm of poisonous moths. As for where she should place herself, well,
迷うことなんてない。私はこの町を管理する遠坂の魔術師だ。
she clenches the jewels in both her hands. No more looking up at the sky from now on. She will fulfill the role she has assumed for herself and continue to protect the border. However, she has trouble controlling her breathing. The more she gazes at the surface, the more her gritted teeth creak. Her stiffened legs lack their usual lightness, and her shoulders are numbed by an unfamiliar pressure. The corpses march on. They'll penetrate the boundary. Before that happens, she will mow down the first wave. But she's trembling, unable to take the first step.
もう情けないったら。
Back goes her tightened fist against her forehead. She acknowledged being up against the odds from the start. Having taken a stand here, she has no choice but to fight until
セ
exhaustion.
ット。
Moving her wooden legs, she takes the first step towards the swarm below. There will be no retreat. One more step and she'll be leaping towards the death.
血気盛んなのは結構だが、肩に力が入りすぎじゃないか。いや、戦うのなら皆殺しにするというのは実に君らしい話だが。
The all too familiar voice ruined their departure completely.
ちょっと。皆殺しが私らしいってどういう意味よ。これでもロンドンじゃ慈悲深い優等生で通ってたんですけど。
She loosens up a little. She stops herself and retorts without looking back.
いや、言葉通りの意味だが。競争相手がいれば周回遅れにし、喧嘩を売られれば二度と歯向かいなくするのが君の流儀だ。
It's regrettable, but that is exactly how it is. Her policy is to do the job thoroughly, all the way. It was never her style to go for the defensive strategies like considering how long she can hold out or how to protect the boundary field.
そっか。やるからには殲滅戦ってわけね。ここはボーダーラインじゃなくてフロントラインだった。失敗した。そんなことを間違えてちゃ、そりゃ肩も重くなる。
She rotates her shoulders casually. It's like a baseball game. All the bases are loaded with none out in the 9th inning, and the batting order is from the second player. If you allow even 1 point, say bye-bye to your trophy. The pitcher had been given undivided attention towards protecting the team, but her spirits are brought up high again, ready to throw one right past the batter.